Okay, so back in ancient Sumerian times, here's this gentleman's name. Ludlow Bel Nikimi, okay? 1700 BCE, I looked it up, about what time he was alive. And, even though I stand praying, they against me. They gather together, telling things they ought not be said. Then they plant very hideous notions in him. Thus the first, I have made him want to end his life. The second says, I made him vacate his post. Vacate his post means quit his job. Sounds like it's similar to my life. Likewise the third, I shall take over his position. Their hearts rage against me as they are ablaze like fire. I, whose lips are always prattle, have become like a mute. My hearty shout is reduced to silence. My proud head is bowed to the ground. Lana Cantrell says, they accomplished their deed by removing him from command, taking his physical and mental powers, as we see a man very much falling from the evils of EMR, electromagnetic resonance, which is exactly what is going on right now. And it's history repeating itself, people. Fingers are pointed at me. That's exactly what's going on. Those are your gang stalkers. This is the same story, okay? The same song and dance that they're doing right now, okay? If you want, go ahead and look up his name. Go ahead and Google it, okay? But I'm telling you, this is ancient gang stalking right here. This guy's story. Okay? Now, he is, of course, in the news, they have all these stories about exorcisms and stuff. People, all this stuff has gone back to the Bible. If you add EMR to the Bible, you have your problem. The ark, okay, is an electromagnetic resonance, okay? They use that stuff to get the battles done, okay? Alright, now, I want to go to the definition of the cross, okay? Hold on. Okay. I have always found these whirling swords to be well represented in most of these stories. These whirling swords are thought to have been swastikas, as this is a very ancient symbol. None have been found in Egypt artwork as yet, nor mentioned, as the Veda, where the people always carry them when the gods appear. Only in the Maltese cross, one of Indra's symbol, as any cross is shown in Egyptian hieroglyphs. Why the swastika is not, we shall see later. Like so many things, Hitler merely borrowed this Aryan symbol, using it for evil. Psychologically, we can see why Indra would use a cross to enrapture his degenerated peoples. The first of his to use a manipulative ideolatry, rather than the swastika, which will make more sense to use as we progress here. Technically or biologically, however you wish to look at it, the swastika, in its particular shape, draws unfavorable radiations, and its curved elongations created the circle of the world at the center, total unity. The cross was feared, like in the Dracula legend. However, the real Count Vad Dracula may have had, as with many, porphyria, like many of the royalty who stemmed from these lineages, by those of the Nibirian lines, for it was a symbol of disarray, response of the cosmos, unstable, which is why it appealed to the mishaps life forms. Actually, the swastika matches exactly the four-corner magnetic resonance of the earth that the Egyptians spoke of. The cross does not produce the circular unity of the cosmos, but draws the forces towards the inner to collide atomically, entropy, death, the one force of death, which symbolized the one true ruling empire of Indra. He used it for all of his hypnotic worth. The Egyptians only signified the swastika with gesticulations of the arm and the legs, their famous stance often portrayed. The cross position attracts unfavorable electromagnetic fields, which is why it was used to crucify and to promote death. Swords are excellent in death wielding because of their cross shape. The cross came in popularity at the fall of Egypt, and again when Rama lost the empire again at the time which brought forth the Christians. Even our Amerindians used swastikas in their artwork, for it was not unusual to see it in museums. It meant the four winds. She says, I find these whirling swords in the garden most intriguing, as that is what is used as laboratory electrometers, which have blades that rotate, which will interrupt a static field and amplify waveforms with readouts of intensity and polarity. By feeding into a recorder, a two-dimensional view can be had of people or objects approaching a whirling sword of Eden sound like. So basically she's saying, the cross is an unfavorable electromagnetic field, because if you take it and you spin it, it does not produce a circular unity of the cosmos. Okay? It's not good. So I just wanted to let you know what the definition of a cross might be. That's what I found out. It's not a very favorable thing. And the swastika draws in favorable radiations as its curved elongations, creating the circle of the world. Okay, well, I don't know about you, but I don't want any radiation. Okay, number 3, I wanted to talk to you about EMR and food. Alright. One of the good points to man is that he is omnivore, able to partake of all mineral forms, both of animal and vegetable. A vegetarian loses out. There is no mention of any vegetarianism in any ancient text. They cease only to eat meat temporarily if there is a particular problem. On heme iron, for instance, gotten only from meat. Ferric iron is poorly absorbed. There are actually 10 known iron compounds which animals and man use. The mystic report of so-called out-of-body experiences and hearing voices, more commonly among vegetarians, is merely not enough oxygen reaching the brain from poor mineral distribution. Heme iron, for instance, works with copper to help keep a steady, homogeneous field of electromagnetism. Ferritin creates an erratic pattern. It is interesting that vegetarians state the wisdom of the ancients forbade meat eating, but as many texts I have read, no one does so on a permanent basis. There has never been found a vegetarian among primitive people. Texts of the Veda warn against fasting too much or allowing the diet to become faulty, as one will lose control of one's senses and be more susceptible to the wills of the gods and hallucinations. Okay, so we all know that the food out there is pretty bad. That's why I tell all targeted individuals, make sure you have a balanced meal. Make sure you get your protein, your vegetables, and your carbs, okay? Electromagnetism is there to screw you up. It's out on the field, people. They're using it right now. It's Project Bluebeam. And I've done videos on all the documentation. You can look it up. All the stuff that they're doing, the military has patented. Okay? All these directed energy weapons is bullshit. It's all about control. This whole AI system is about control, and your senators know about it. Okay? I've already named names. Senator Lindsey Graham, Al Gore, and I've had voice to skull, since 2013. I've had my lab experiences. That's all military operations, people. They're using it on me. They're attacking me every day with this crap. So wake up. They're going to launch you into space. Do you want to go into... How are you going to solve anything out in space? You can't even solve your own damn planet. Alright, what else? Oh yeah, I promised you a Star Trek review. Alright, let's go back to the skin. Let's see here. You're wondering what I'm talking about with skin. Alright, well on Star Trek they have aliens that are colored skin. And it's written in the Veda. Da-da-da! Do your homework. Star Trek Beyond. Okay, so you see James T. Kirk, he's sitting there, he's talking to these aliens. He's got this ancient artifact, and he's trying to give it to them. I don't know, they weren't happy about it. So he gets back on the ship, and then they start talking about how boy meets girl. And this one girl, she kicks out a guy, and she's green. This girl is green. Okay? Now, green, Adam was said to have had olive skin. There were 5 skin types written in the Egyptian and Veda texts. Green, red, yellow, black, and white. And this would indeed be progressive stages of chromatism, as they obviously lost a molecule of magnesium from their melatonin cells, and iron took its place, creating red blood. But this is just part of the explanation we will have to delve more into. Okay? Alright, but she says here, hey, but when these families are placed in precarious environment through the misadventure on Earth, They pray their skin will not change. Many try to reverse the process through austerities when the gods had established their Edens and were protected from the environment and the sun, which they could not tolerate. Alright, it's the original form of the fall, green. Olive, green, red, yellow, black, and white. All because of the environment. Alright, so then I caught something else. The young Spock is carrying a box of the older Spock, and I guess older Spock, he passed away. But if you look at the symbolism of the box, what that is that's a symbol of the United Nations. Okay, it's got the feathers and all that stuff. Alright. Now, let's see here. They get a distress signal. They pick up this girl. She says she needs help. They pick her up. And then all of a sudden they're attacked with this hive mind. A bunch of nanotech alien ships. And they really do a number on the ship. Okay, and they're forced to separate the ship, the saucer, and they land on this planet. Alright. Alright, so Scotty's on the surface and he runs into this girl. She protects him, and then she takes him to a place where she does her does work on the spaceship, and it turns out that it's the old USS Franklin. Alright, so Scotty talks to her, and she knows everything about Krell and how the rest of his crew are being taken hostage to this like FEMA camp area. Okay. Alright, in the meantime, Krell lets her walk around or something, and she runs into this panel, and she finds out that Krell has been watching her, or watching Yorktown for some time now. She realizes that. So he does this because he has a grudge against the Federation. Okay? And the reason why he has a grudge against the Federation is, he says this: all distress calls go unanswered. The indigenous race abandoned this planet, left behind sophisticated mining equipment. They have some kind of technology that prolongs life. Okay? The Federation does not care about us. Okay, so it's him and probably, I think, 2 other people are left on this planet. Okay? And he found some ancient technology, and he found out that it prolongs his life. So that's what he uses, okay, to prolong his life. But he realizes that, the Federation, he tells everybody, that's not what it's all cracked up to be. So actually, the bad guy is telling you the truth about what's going on. Anyways, here you go. You got the hive mind, and they run on frequency. Long story short, they get the people out of the FEMA camps, and they load them up on the USS Franklin, and they start running away. And then these hive mind alien ships start attacking the USS Franklin. And the crew is trying to figure out how they can bust up this hive mind because it's attacking Yorktown. So what they figure out is they have what's called a unified cyberpathic coordination system, which coordinates their actions, and they talk to each other this way, and it's electromagnetic. And Scotty says, let's use the transporter to disrupt the network. So they want to send a signal inside the swarm to bust it up, okay? Has to be a high frequency, so they use VHF. And then on top of it, they use what's called loud and distracting, okay? It's just like the bees, you bump it in, poof, they're gone, okay? And they blow up. And they set it at 57.7 megahertz, okay? So, let's see, what else? It was just little things that I caught, the girl that was working with Scotty. She says, you cannot defeat the bees. Okay? Bees meaning the Anunnaki, the hive mind. Okay. So Yorktown symbolizes New York City. Let's see. Da-da-da-da-da. So, James T. Kirk, he saves Yorktown. He brings down the bad guy. He finds out that he was a former captain, and he was mad because the Federation didn't hear his distress calls. So, it's a small clip where he tells you the truth about the Federation. Sometimes they're not cracked up to what they're supposed to be doing. Anyways, and then over here, I saw something on Drudge Report here, how, 9-year-old wants to be a NASA planetary protection officer, okay, and to think like an alien, okay, so that's them, setting up the stage for your fake alien invasion, Rev 1313 stuff. Okay, people? What happens is the chemtrails get in your body, the GMOs, they send out the frequencies, it upsets your chakra system, they attack your pineal gland through REM sleep, which is your 4D, and then that's how the mind control happens. Okay, everybody meets down in these DUMBs, deep underground military bases, and they exist. Just look for the money leads to the technology, people. But everybody sits on their ass and are quiet. I don't know what to tell you. I keep sending out these messages, I don't know if anybody's out there. So, and it all goes back to, ancient Egypt, and they've been cloning away. Here, I'll show it again. Here's some pictures. Even their Akhenaten god had a belly problem. Look at that. He had a little belly problem, and that was due to the yeast in the beer, the barley in the beer. Okay? The pharaohs were not perfect either, people. Okay? Alright? So, Thoth. He's got a little tail. There you go. Reptilian. Okay? What was I going to show you? Queen T. Who does that look like? I'll let you assume. Okay, I'm not the only one that's doing these cloning stories. Okay, they preserve the DNA by mummification. Okay. Oh, and this is interesting. This right here is a Chinese painting. I wanted to talk to you about that. That's on page 26. Let's see here. Hold on. Okay, this painting is an ancient Mui story of the Nani people, telling us that in the beginning of the earth, 3 suns graced the sky. Could this have been sun dogs skipping off the canopy? The more we will read, the more this will be dotted. If you look at the picture on plate number 1, we have here an old Japanese depiction of the 3 suns that appear in the skies. Most legends tell us the opposite about the sun that the science relates, that it was much larger and closer than, rather than further away. If I had no training in biochemistry, I would say this is all rubbish, but I was surprised by the countless pathology described and environmental conditions that gave substance to our own biological mystery. As it stands, we lost either one or more companions to our sun, and life suffered immeasurably for it. Perhaps our moon was once a sun. It certainly shows a great deal of damage. So she's leaving that to you. Maybe the moon was once a sun. Okay. And that's why it's only sitting there on one side. So let's see here. 2674. Let's go back to the picture. Let's go back. Here we go. Here's that picture. Here's your suns. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And here's your Anunnaki. The lotus eyes. Okay. Here's your Anunnaki. So, anyways. There's a lot going on, but I do know what they've done to me as a TI. So let's go over it again. Chemtrails, GMO, send EMR, directed energy weapons to upset the body because they already know the genetics on the planet. And after World War II, they tried to do what's called the seeding program. That's the Nazi program, the seeding program. It was a human Lyrian race. Okay, also AKA the indigo children and super children. Okay, So, that's what they did after World War II. Part of their Project Paperclip, I guess. So, if you don't want to hear it, there's an off button. But it's like I told you guys yesterday in a video, if you want to stand there in darkness and not know what's going on, you're going to stand in darkness. Getting my butt kicked with this EMR crap. And all this stuff is black ops. Okay, I think I've had enough of it. Okay? The reptilians are androgyny. Okay? Okay, all this stuff about boys don't know who they are and girls don't know who they are. They don't know what bathroom to use. They don't know what clothes to wear. It's all a bunch of hogwash. Goes back to this androgyny shit. Okay? Alright. The more androgynous people came, the more Christ and other heavily androgynous more people looked intriguing to them. It is the most hypnotic sensation there is and captures every culture that allows its germplasm to falter through improper diet and lifestyle. Christ's asexual tendencies cannot be denied by anyone who is well read of all ancient literature. His hypnotic manner and appearance appears to the latent, dormant tendencies such as the androgynous people. To put it candidly, his attraction lies in the fact that his male side is attracted to the feminine side of man and his feminine to the masculine side of woman. There is no Hebrew in the world who should hang their head in shame of the crucifixion, for these people were among the few to see through the one God's evil doings. Androgyny was the most serious problem then, and many may find it hard to accept today, which only clarifies it more. But this was a titanic battle to rid of those falling to it, and they knew the source of the problem from the beginning, Indra. So, well, dealing with some interesting things. All this stuff that's being pumped out in the news and everything, people, it all goes back to ancient Egypt. The Nuburian and Anunnaki lines, they're black and white, Masonic order stuff. And it's interesting how she says how in the age of Kali Yuga, as today, people will totally submerge in immortality, and religion will rise as more and more in their ignorance. They must turn to prayer and away from themselves, and place their trust in something that will not cure the problem, but is only catering to it. And here you have the basis of allopathic medicine, which is an outgrowth of this kind of reasoning. Okay? Says right here, Eon of Discord is where we are. We're in that's what the Veda states. That's where we're at. Boys and girls, in the age of Kali Yuga. It's the snake eating its tail. She's saying you're turning away from yourself. You're going towards the AI, and the AI is going to take over everything. Okay? They want to take over your sleep, how you walk, how you eat, how you dress, if you can have children or not. If that child is born, are they going to decide 18 years from now if they're a boy or girl? I mean, come on, people. Are we really that stupid? God, no one's got any cannolis. You're letting these Masons run your life. When are you going to wake up? Stop horsing around. They're using directed energy weapons on the planet against people who are really good people. This is bullshit. You all want to worry about fucking, whether or not someone hacked the DNC. We've got some problems down here. I don't know. No one's growing up. But what do I know, right? Yeah, your space brothers are going to save you. Right? True love. True love's going to save your ass. They got voice and facial recognition, V2K, synthetic telepathy. It's all bullshit to manipulate you. Whether or not you can go eat that burger or not. Oh, God. The children are just being brainwashed big time. Don't even know if they're boy or girl. And then they give them the gang stalking treatment. Oh, you're going to gang stalk this person because they're just bad. They go against the system. They're bad, they're bad, they're bad. Right? Let's train our children to be gang stalkers. I'm not the only one voicing this out. Good grief, people. Shit's been going on since ancient Sumerian times and we still haven't grown up? Are you serious? I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I should stop. And then maybe you might knock on my door and say, we have a problem. Oh, now you wake up, huh? Oh, really? This AI system takes away everything that is about you. Your individuality, people. I don't know. Talk to you later.